I'm here with Ram, Director of AI Research at Zoho in beautiful McAllen, Texas, not in Austin as we have been last year, so good change. Talking about the trajectory of AI at Zoho. So thanks for being with me here and
I appreciate the opportunity.
agreeing to answer some more or less nasty questions.
Pleasure is mine.
But the first thing probably is, what the heck is Zoho's history in AI? I mean, Zoho is well known for business applications. So what are you doing in AI and since when?
Well, we as a company, we tend to deep dive in everything. We want to build the deep technical know-how. That's the foundation on which the company has been built. So we have been looking at AI since 2011. In fact, I was the first intern who joined to start looking at where can AI help businesses.
Let's not talk about age.
I'm not talking about age yet. So what was a very small effort? I mean, it was a one-person effort, one intern effort. And then slowly we wanted to explore where it could help businesses, because back then AI was more of a consumerish tool. I mean, we had AI in social media, we had AI in search engines, but AI in CRM was not that heard of in 2011-12. So we started off with that, and slowly we could see a lot of value, a lot of possibilities, and then we started building a team around me. And today we have a hybrid setup. We have a central AI team, and then each product team has its own AI team, because the technology has become so important. So it's pretty much distributed across the company now. But as a part of the central AI team, I am responsible for setting up the framework, setting up the strategy, setting up how do we invest in the future in terms of algorithms. The problem with the field is it's like evolving really fast. It just changes overnight. And it's scary. It's intimidating. But yeah, we have survived. So as far as what we have done with AI, we started off by replacing your traditional techniques with AI. So for example, think about anomaly or forecasting. I mean, you had these based on traditional statistical techniques. And then what we did was we tried adding the past data, learning some patterns out of it, understand the trends, understand the seasonality, know that every December this is a slow period because you sell enterprise software. Or I mean, you get it, right? If you're in the travel industry, your weekends are the busiest. If you're in banking, your weekdays are the busiest, and so on. So we could spot a lot of patterns. What started off with basic pattern matching, then evolved into some computer vision aspects in terms of document processing, then evolved into natural language processing, where we did things like grammar and translation. So this kind of played well with our privacy stance and our way of working, building deep technical know-how. Let me explain the privacy part. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of consumer tools. So for instance, 2017-18, we were seeing that a lot of our customers were using tools that were built for the consumer to check their grammar, to do translation. And this was the time when GDPR was making a lot of ripples. And all of a sudden, you are copy-pasting sensitive enterprise information into tools that were built for the consumer. I'm not there yet. So we built everything within the editor. We see the same thing happening right now, like you rightly pointed out, because all we have is enterprise AI, but consumer grade LLMs. Right? You have one model where you can go ask it to bake a cake, go ask it to plan a vacation, ask for a fitness plan, whatnot. But the enterprise information is very contextual, very, very contextual. It needs a lot of context to understand what could be the next best set of action. So if I were to define things in a single line, we are deploying AI in our suite of products to decide the next best course of action. The next best course of action is actually decided by multiple variables. There could be a lot of context. I mean, who you are, what is your role, who are your colleagues, are you talking to Ram the AI person, Ram the customer, or Ram the analyst? And for each of these, your context changes. So we are calling it contextual intelligence, CI, where forget about small models, medium models, narrow models, large language models. All of these are intertwined, and it's going to work like magic with all the context and with all the intelligence around. That has been our strategy so far, and that we will continue to build upon contextual intelligence.
How? Which way? So this strategy is basically a keyword, so a buzzword for me that says, okay, you have taken a road, you are on a road, this road has a bunch of junctures coming up, and where do you see yourself going also in the light of all these topics that we are discussing right now with ethics, with plagiarism, with the basic question, is this generative AI or derivative AI? Another D. So, which follows after C. So or is this only a part, you already indicated, it's in all likelihood only a part of an AI ecosystem that takes care of, well, probably only the language generation after some time. So, where do you see yourself going?
Awesome. So let me give you 1, 2, 3 examples. Right. So we have had receipt digitization in Zoho expense for a while. Basically, I'm traveling on business, I'm expensing stuff I do to my company, and we made the life of the person traveling easy by letting him just upload a photograph of the receipt that he got from the Starbucks cafe, and then it gets automatically OCR'd, and then it's filed as an expense. This was where we started in 2017, sometime in 2017. One thing that we observed was the accuracy of this model was comparatively lower to other fields, especially when we are finding out the name of the merchant. Right? So, for example, there could be a Starbucks logo. There could be a Shell logo. It does not read Starbucks. It does not read Shell. Just the logo. As a human, when you look at it, it's obvious, oh, I know this is Shell, I know this is Starbucks, but the traditional model was not able to do it. Now, after the whole large language models have evolved, we are looking at multimodal models, which can understand text, which can understand audio, which can understand video, which can understand images. So we just added this language model into our expense suite. So now the accuracy of finding out the merchants has gone up from somewhere from 75% to 98%.
Okay.
Right. So now it does not stop there. We enhance the productivity of the traveling employee. Now there are 100 employees traveling, and they all submit the report to the same finance admin. Now, again, let's say each one of them does 100 receipts, and it's 100 cross 100 receipts for him to manually vet it. Now, how do we enhance his productivity by using AI? So one, there is a pattern in which I travel, and then there is a pattern in which all the employees who came into McAllen traveled. Spot any anomalies. Step 2. Step 3, here is my travel policy. Here are the receipts that this person has submitted. Find out anomalies. Right? So alcohol not permitted, flight upgrades not permitted, daily limit of so much for your hotel, and whatever policy it could be. They are just in English. You're not configuring any buttons. You're not entering any values. Because the problem is these things evolve over time. And you need your intelligence systems to take care of it. So this would be the first example where we are deeply intertwining AI. And again, the end user will not be knowing that AI, I mean, it's not where you open a chat interface, you go ask questions and get the answers. It's all imbibed into your workflow and processes. Second example could be, let's say, I'm getting a legal document to sign via Zoho Sign. And let's say it's from the Mexico office and it's in Spain. And legal agreements are generally longer. So the first thing, I use a narrow model to translate the Spanish version to the English version. Right? This is a narrow model. It can just do one thing, translation. Then I have a small language model that can help me summarize the model. Oh, these are the key points this agreement is talking about, and you have to sign it. Then there is a medium language model that could take a look at it and say, hey, you've signed about 50 agreements in the last 6 months. I find this clause to be weird. I don't see it. You generally don't sign an agreement with, let's say, a 60-day retention period. It's always a 30-day retention period. Maybe you want to look closer into this. It spots the anomalies for me. And then there is a larger language model that could come in and say, this sentence should be rewritten as this so that it falls under your policy. It just does not stop there. When I say, okay, maybe make this edit, it triggers another workflow where it goes back to the person who sent me the document to sign it. So again, deeply embedded, contextual, it depends on the last examples, last few agreements that you have signed. And the last and final example, let's say you're a customer support agent and you have a customer on a chat, you run a garage, you run a auto garage. You have a customer on chat coming in and he says, hey, my wiper blades are faulty. Maybe you have to look into it. And contextually, we are able to pull data from CRM. We are able to pull data of the customer on what his purchase history is. And then we're able to pull his service history out of it. And then you're also able to see, like I said, the horizontal and the vertical. You're also able to see other customers who have reported this wiper blade issue. And the model predicts that, hey, you may go ahead and approve his warranty claim because this seems to be a recurring issue, right? Then you look up inventory, find out what is the closest place where that particular part number is available, and book him an appointment and generate an invoice. So you see how all of these, it's more getting connected. This is the direction that
you also might check with your production department what they are doing wrong with the production process.
Absolutely.
So what I hear out of it is that you foresee a pretty strong trend also back from humongously large and energy-intensive models to smaller specific ones that interact with each other and also become, let's say, more efficient.
Absolutely. I love the way you put it, because ESG scores are becoming an important factor for software businesses right now. Not just that, the smaller language model that I talked about in the 3 to 5 billion parameter range, even though these models are trained using energy-intensive GPUs, we are able to run the inference on CPUs. And that means I'm contributing positively to the environment, and again, I'm not passing on the GPU tax to my customer. So find out models that work for different levels. I mean, it's okay, 3 to 5 billion model is more than enough to identify the name of the merchant on a receipt. And a 50 billion model is enough to rephrase legal statements, given it's specialized in that domain. That domain and the context is what is helping us to lower the model size and thereby keep costs in check.
Okay. Last but not least, the other topic that is, well, highly debated right now is the general legal ethics. So if I use a model, I do not know how it's trained. I do not know how much IP data is used for training it, which apparently violates the owner of the IP. Because, well, it's their IP, not the training company's IP to use. So this is one part. The other aspect is it's generative/derivative. It might create something that in turn itself violates somebody's IP, plagiarism. And how is Zoho's stance in supporting your customers in this? Actually, it's a dilemma. So, well, the training part less, but the production part is a dilemma. So what is Zoho's stance there to support your customers?
Well, Zoho, we strongly believe that your data is your data and it should work just for you. I mean, you cannot use your data to train a third party's AI and in turn you get some subsidized software. That's not how it should work, because that's your business secret, right? That's your secret sauce, and you don't want it to be taken over by some model. So we have set clear policy privacy guidelines where we have built foundational models that are independent of any of our customer data, and then they are fine-tuned to individual customers. Even here we have different levels of privacy where there is an individual user, let's say the support agent in the organization that has subscribed to Zoho Desk, his privacy is protected. Then there is the organization itself where there is some IP, all their customer contracts. Simple example, we have a best time to contact a lead in CRM. And if I'm going to use the model that is trained on one company for their competitor who has just signed up for CRM, I'm basically selling their data. We don't do that. So all of these privacy policies intact, and we also have a strong policy towards making our AI bias free. None of the direct or indirect PII ever goes into the system. Even if it were your own model trained on your own data just for your organization, we ensure there is no direct or indirect PII markers flowing into the system. So, see, the problem with AI is the concept gets drifted. Concept drift is the word. I mean, you start with good intentions, and then as the data flows through the system, it starts learning rogue patents, and that is what we don't want to happen. We have systems, yeah, we have systems in place to check this, doing periodic audits, periodic reviews on the way we store and process data, and we continuously keep updating the model as well. So it's 3, 4, 5 things put together. One is our stance on privacy. 2 is using your own data just for your own models. 3 is our audit policy, the way we avoid direct and indirect PII flowing into the model, so that the model does not take action on the PII, but the other parameters associated with that account. So all of these put together, I think we have taken a strong moral stance on privacy. But this is not a problem that is, hey, I've done it, it's sorted. You need to pay the full attention as we evolve, and that should be Zoho's promise. We'll do it right.
Okay, thanks for that, Ram.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah,
great chatting with you.
Answers.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, and
thank
perhaps more soon.